Let's bring out Justin Pope and the Swiss Guard.
Mr. Erickson.
Mr. Pope. Oh, what's going on, fellas? This has been a long time coming, sir.
Excited to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you. This is,
Comfy couch.
it's not that bad. I feel weird because I can't find a chair that's lower. So I feel like, like that picture when they signed the Declaration of Independence and George Washington, even though he's sitting down, is still taller than everybody else. I feel like George Washington.
I've worked in a public school for a number of years, so I'm like right at home in these little
Oh, yeah,
little
you're
chairs.
right down there, right down. Well, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here.
I found your voiceover artist profile.
Oh, you did you?
Yeah, and it says you are a John Krasinski-like everyman with a warm, dynamic guy next door voice.
This is very true, Brian.
It's like, well, I might be, but I'm curious. They said you could do a Dixie /
Oh, man,
Delta
don't do this.
accent.
They did this to me at work the other day. Somebody found my
Someone
voiceover
found you?
profile, and I actually, what's funny is it's like, do you ever see the Friends episode where Joey says
I didn't know.
he's got? Okay, come on,
Sorry,
come on, you're old like me.
I am, but I don't know. I was,
So
I was more of a Frasier guy.
Everybody pads their resume a little bit, so I put a few dialects that I may not actually know how to do. And the other day, I got a Appalachia Deep South job offering.
Oh yeah.
Just when it's fine because it's a very impersonal field voiceover.
Okay.
So they sort of send out the APB and you come calling if it fits your type.
Big Appalachia guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have said Appalachia before I was corrected, so I clearly wouldn't have gotten the job.
So you went to McGill University
I did
because you liked Leonard Cohen.
because I liked Leonard Cohen.
So what drew you to songwriting in the first place?
Well, it's a good question, Brian, and I probably should have prepared for you to ask a question like that.
I mean, that's like 100 level.
That is,
songwriter. There's a songwriter episode. We're going to talk a little about songwriting.
So I was in grade 5, okay? I was in the 5th grade, and I was hanging out with a couple of kids who were
Dave
into the...
Vargo's got you beat by 2 years.
Okay.
He said he was 8. So
Oh, well, no, that's true. I
I just wanted
probably...
to point that out.
So we started a band called Phoenix Nuclear Holocaust in the 5th grade, which is a terrible name for a band.
That's a great.
No, I disagree.
No, that's a great name.
That's a really good name.
Kid, no, that's great.
But it was one of these 5th grade bands where like it exists solely in your mind,
Yep.
but it has a logo and you've got song titles, and then the songs came from that. We had like an official band notebook where the songs got written and scrawled in, and we wrote songs almost exclusively about dinosaurs and great white sharks and the kinds of things that interest you as a 5th grader.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
yeah.
I want to back up though a note. So like the 5th grade version of having a band camp. Like you had.
but
like,
I'm chopped. But at least with the band camp, you have to have content.
That's.
We had no content. We had a lot of fights
No.
over who would be the guitar player, though. There was a lot of like, I'm going to play the guitar. None of us could actually play the guitar.
Oh, so none of you were playing instruments.
No. This was a purely conceptual band. It was like a Yoko Ono art project kind of a band.
Wow. Okay. Yes, I am a witch.
Yes. This is not a band. So we wrote songs about sharks and dinosaurs, and I liked rhyme, so I'd read a lot of poetry.
Okay.
Got really into writing, rhyme schemes in poetry, and then
Were you in a serious question? Were you reading or exposed to poetry of any kind back then?
yes. So my dad was a big fan of reading us stories at bedtime, so he'd always read us like Ogden Nash stuff or Lewis Carroll stuff. So I was like meter and rhyme. So that stuff kind of came naturally to me, and then with I was a huge U2 fan. I mean, we covered this on the podcast when we talked about Leonard Cohen.
And the snarky thing for me to do would be to say like to apologize on your behalf. But U2, because a lot of people don't realize like U2 made really good records.
They
for quite a long
really
time.
they really did, and I too would like somebody to create me like a best of U2 after How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. Like I want
Can't be
somebody
done.
else to
Can't be
listen to
done.
those records and like cherry pick the songs.
Can't be done. There are no.
Raised by Wolves is really good.
What's that one
So
on?
is it-
Songs of
That song's of innocence.
Yeah,
Okay.
every breaking wave is really good too. That's a good one.
Every breaking wave.
Yes.
But so
Thank you.
I'm like I really hate admitting this because I wrote Bono is God on like all of my clothes when I was a.
By the way, I do like that you included Atomic Bomb as being like, because that's a good one.
That's a good one, and I feel like that was the moment that we're gonna like like City of Blinding Lights I loved, and
Yep.
there was like a bunch of stuff on that I loved, but then at that moment, U2 just kind of thing. Well, so I discovered Leonard Cohen on a chorus trip to Canada through Bono, because Bono did the world's worst version of Hallelujah, which I said this on the podcast.
Yeah.
You can Google it.
I
It is
have
like
it now.
Hallelujah is one of those unkillable songs. Like it's really hard to do a bad version of it. Definitive version, Katie Lang. We had this conversation over text.
Okay.
But watch the Katie Lang doing it. That's the definitive Hallelujah, period.
Wow.
I say that here at the show now.
Wow.
I will fight
not
anyone.
him, but
To
That
all our viewer.
The Katie Lang Hallelujah from the Leonard Cohen tribute concert is the definitive Hallelujah. But
I like I saw Michael McDonald do that live. Do Hallelujah live.
I heard it was.
Exactly. Did it just like that. After Leonard Cohen released the statement saying, can we all please lay off Hallelujah?
Michael McDonald said, no, no, no.
Yeah, and then he put it on an album, and I saw him for free at the Balloon Festival in 2009.
Michael McDonald was at the Balloon Festival.
Yeah, he was.
Festival.
It's this thing that happens in Hunterdon County.
Where around where
Oh,
he
it's
lives
very
and where I
serious.
used to live. It's very serious
Days
stuff.
worth of like hundreds of balloons. Not, helium.
Like hot air
hot
balloons.
air
Big.
Yeah, the Quick
It's like,
Check
I need a
Festival
license
of
to-
Ballooning.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get and then for Quick Check, if you ever go to a Quick Check in New Jersey the month before, they're just like barraging you. It's on every
Yeah,
cup.
it's almost like it's their own personal advent calendar.
My sister saw the Jonas Brothers there one year. I feel like
Well,
that
they were
was
probably local.
They were like this was
before
the
they were famous.
No, I feel like it was like pre-peak, like regional curiosity.
So like Chris's band, The Burns, now.
Okay.
I think you're headed
Soon you'll
in,
be up on the balloon festival.
yeah, you're headed in the right direction.
Balloon Festival 2020.
Get me some emails. I'll play Balloon Festival.
Stick them on a balloon. All right.
Invite.
See you,
I'm
Chris.
I'm
Bye,
on
Chris.
camera. Don't.
It's the most no, seriously. My son is 4 and he likes the idea of a balloon. So I put on one of those YouTube videos of somebody riding a balloon where you're experiencing it with them in 4K.
Oh,
It is terrifying.
I could imagine.
Not the whole time I'd be like jump, 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 like a little voice in the back of your head. No, I don't want to do it.
They're not so terrifying up close, though. I mean, I grew up in the sticks in Hunterdon, so like they would land across the street from us fairly regularly. When I say street, I mean like a road basically made of straw. But when
And they
get
give
up-
you champagne when they land in your yard. They like carry a bottle in the thing.
I wasn't.
It's the least they
I
could do
wasn't
for like
old enough.
literally landing in your backyard.
Yeah, no, they do gift you.
I would hope they would bring alcohol. At least.
It's like a party. They like unfurl a basket. No, actually, the balloon basket's like a giant picnic basket.
Yeah,
they
it's
fold
pretty
down the
cool.
sides. There's very large forks, very large plates.
I just think the scariest thing about it is the sandbags. Like you've got to operate the sandbags in order to change altitude. Like that's horrifying, right? Isn't that
Really?
in part? Maybe I misunderstand. I know, of course, you can go and get the flames and the whole.
What do you have
thing.
to do? Okay.
Like that, yeah.
One more time.
That's the quote. It's in parentheses. Evan Straley. So
One
by the
more.
way, real quick, Evan Straley,
Yes.
bass guitar player for the Swiss Guard, also bass violin player, and Brian Green, lead guitar player for the Swiss Guard.
And Brian is in a bunch of bands.
Oh, we will
I've
get
seen.
there.
So how did this all? So like you're kind of a notorious for not releasing stuff that often. So like
Like
how did,
ever?
So how did it? Well, your last, according to your Bandcamp, your last release was a demo 7 years ago.
Yes, it was a demo, and I released it on my birthday, and I remember that.
Okay.
And you know what? It doesn't feel like it was 7 years ago, and so now I feel very embarrassed and sad that the world has been deprived.
But don't you just want it to sound the way you want it to sound? So
And
and
then
then
you-
it takes 7 years to make it.
Well, like, so I feel like there's a sea change that happened generationally, and I'm of this other generation where you like, it's very uncomfortable for me to pull out my guitar and play songs for people. Like it's not something I want to like, present to everybody, which is terrible and as a musician, a professional musician. But like it was more of like, oh, I've been working on this song, would you like to hear it? It's a very one-on-one intimate thing. Whereas I feel like a lot of people today, content is king. So it's you write the song, get it out there, get it out there, get it out there. And obviously Neil Young, and there's people that did that in the olden days. But I'm more of a one song a year kind of person. So when it's funny, I put demo on the song, it's done. But like the demo allows me
It allows you
to like, yeah.
Yeah, it allows you the option to go back to it if you want, because I don't know, it sounds done to me.
It's nerve wracking for me. Like I get like physically ill at
Where
the
does
thought
that
of
come
putting.
from?
I don't know. I guess when I was in high school and I would bring the guitar out at parties, there was always like one or two friends would be like, oh, not again with the guitar.
The guitar guy, right?
The guitar
we were just
guy.
talking about being the guitar
And
guy.
it's funny because I'm a self-hating singer-songwriter. Like I really don't listen to a lot of singer-songwriters, with some great exceptions. So I don't know. I guess I have that. I got to get over that. That would be my biggest mistake if that question's going to be on the list.
That
later.
is not on the list, but
All
you
right.
can answer it because Dave has not made a mistake. So
Until tonight.
yeah, until today, Dave's biggest mistake is coming on one more, which I feel awful about. But you can field that one if you want.
Well, no, I just think that's a mindset thing. It's definitely like my own personal roadblock because I've got this great crew of people, and we are going to record some things. We'll get to that.
But this is a fairly new operation, though.
So I host open mic nights. That's been a big thing. That's been a part of my life. I actually met my wife hosting an open mic night.
We met at an open.
If you're watching, hi Lisa. We met at an open mic night.
10.
Where was
years
that?
ago. John and Peters.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And-
from whence we came.
I feel like I've seen you grow up as a performer,
Oh, you totally have.
which is like a really wonderful thing to see.
Because I was terrible.
You said that earlier, but I can't. Like, really?
Yeah. Oh, I'm still bad, but I was really, really bad.
I remember you covered a Scott Walker song like one of the first times.
Yeah,
and I was
30th
like,
Century Man.
yeah.
That was for you. Like, you see, because I always looked at you. You were like the sort of. No, you can. It's fine. You were like sort of the the sort of cognoscenti. You always had this sort of mature taste in music. There was another open mic host, Tim Nayfield, and we talked about this off camera before, but I said, oh yeah, I knew something was up that particular open mic because it wasn't like white dudes singing funk songs in between songs. It wasn't like Black Crows and stuff like that, or like early Robert Palmer. It was the Walkmen covering Leonard Cohen. And then I remember going to the booth and being like, who's here tonight?
Yeah, the Daytrotter session.
It's not Tim Nayfield. And then that's how we met.
Now Tim does, for the record, make legendary mixes. I don't know if you ever got any of his.
Oh yeah, he gifted me. I still have them.
I've got one. He made one for a kids that I play for Dylan all the time. But yeah, like I mean, you know what's funny? To go back to the other thing, do you ever hear that Ira Glass quote? Excuse me, about like the gulf between your tastes and like your output.
Yeah.
I feel like that's always been my thing. Like I feel like I have pretty good taste.
And you know what you make isn't up to your own standards. So if you need 7 years to get it, I mean, it takes 7 years to make
But
it.
you gotta do stuff. In the interim.
No, you
But
do.
isn't it also, part of the joy? Isn't the aspiration part of the joy? Or I should ask, is the aspiration part of the joy?
Absolutely.
Because I think everybody, I think other people's answers might be different, because if they like slave over something and they're never satisfied, then maybe it's not.
It's getting the closest to, which is a good transitional point. It's getting the close. We talked about this the other night with Bob Dylan and Blonde on Blonde, where he said he had that wild Mercury sound in his head.
Only album he says that he ever made that was that tracked with what he heard in his head.
Exactly, and like he did that with that crew of people, and that's one of the best things about these guys is who I met at an open mic night as well. Was that the songs that I've written, and many of which I wrote many years ago, finally sound the way they always sounded in my head. So I feel like we're the closest we've ever been to there being some recorded material by Justin Pope in the world, thanks to the Swiss Guard.
So is this it? Is this going to be the group that finally like helps?
I
bring it
think
up? Is this it? Can you make the announcement here? Like, there will be a Swiss Guard recording with this music, with this material.
we will absolutely be recording in the fall. There are active conversations
Or actually,
happening.
I'm sorry. There will be music released. 'Cause I've heard recorded stuff that's not released. There are troves of things. Will it be released?
It will be released. We can say that here.
I think yes.
Let's all point. Let's do it like a very official.
It will be released. I'll say that on behalf
shall
of
be.
Justin.
We shall be released.
Appropriately, you shall be released.
Yeah, so Evan over here was coming to open mic night with this other guitar player, and they did like this jazz thing, and then they had this random drummer who was a guy drinking at the bar come up and play drums with them, and it was this amazing thing. And I was like, wow, that guy really good at the bass. This guy Brian is playing in a group called Sourland.
Oh yeah, I love Sourland. We're having Tyson on in like a month.
Oh,
sweet.
awesome.
Or
Yeah.
a month and a half. But yeah, he's so you may end up being back. That's my point.
And we started the idea of playing some. Actually, I put a band together to do a Velvet Underground tribute show.
That was a great. I think about that.
That was good. I heard that shit.
Did you?
Really good.
I was so
recording.
fortunate to be, when you asked me to do that gig, I was like, yes, like, oh, this is great. Because having come to that open mic, and you were saying how important open mics were to you, like that open mic that you were running was my gateway into that community in that area. And then through that and doing that Velvet Underground gig, like I think back on that gig, and that was some of my favorite playing I've ever done. Like that just felt so right, and I just wanted to say that so that you know that it.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, and
It's important to have those community fostering events because without, I mean, I don't think we would have ever. Maybe we would have met later.
Well, I was saying this, you weren't there last night. I was saying this to somebody at the bar, was when you try out, and shout out to Joe Montone in Doylestown who puts together these great bands covering a whole album thing. You try on the costume, and all of a sudden I felt comfortable doing stuff that I'd never done before on stage. Like the ego death kind of thing that you seek as a performer. Like it finally happened a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So I got one more question
Okay.
for you, and this specifically for you, Justin, because you've known your wife Lisa for what 13, 14 years now.
Yeah.
If my memory serves me, and not selling her short. She's also a wonderful musician in her own right, with excellent and discerning tastes, and you're talking about the idea of being a sort of self-hating singer-songwriter and having a little bit of this anxiety of, well, you're going to put demo on it just in case and stuff. How does she keep you grounded when the sort of bad thoughts start to take over a little bit?
There's the line in the Jason Isbell song about you let her sneak away for a while so the muse comes back. Like in it's one of the songs he has where he sings about is when you love somebody, and they're struggling with their art, you kind of let them. And so she, number one, she really appreciates that. But I should also say that my wife is an award-winning journalist and a teacher, so she can turn work around and call it done. Like when you're writing for Deadline, that's because you write for newspapers and stuff too, that's going in. So her songwriting style is so immediate that it's inspiring for me. And she's actually kind of challenged me a few times over the course of our relationship to say, it can be done. Like this can be done now. So I feel like she's the one always kind of pulling me to finish things. Sometimes I think, I exasperate her in that regard, but she definitely understands and lets me be the sort of neurotic, like Don Music from Sesame Street. That's my spirit animal. He would play, couldn't remember the ABCD and then slam his head on the piano. That's Don Music is kind of my musical spirit animal. And I think she's there to kind of be the counterpoint to that and be like, no, what you did there, I really like. And I feel like there's something there.
Excellent.
So.
Excellent, and we're going to hear some of this material, and some of this band in just a little bit.
Cheers! Thanks so much, Brian.
The Swiss Guard, everybody.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the only man to make Neutral Milk Hotel look prolific, Justin Pope. Good guys,
Josh Guard is the Swiss Guard.
so close. Justin Pope is the Swiss Guard.
I found my new Twitter bio. Mother makes a meal fit for a king. Father calls you out on everything. You're gonna bypass all that life has to offer you more. Attention paid is minimal at best.
Prayer for all the patience time will test. Pour out the caveat. There you have it. It's okay today. But when you're standing on the edge of reason, kicking and screaming, for heaven's sake, don't forget your life's a trial for treason. Against all of the reasons your conscience aches. Go on, it's your birthday. Do what you want. Swirling around your glass. Here's one for all the mistakes in the past. You're safe for the sake of trying to make up before this unravels. But you'll celebrate the callous caring part as it corrugates the cardboard in your heart. In case of unfolding, at least you're holding something built to travel. But when you're standing on the edge of reason, kicking and screaming for heaven's sake, don't forget your life's a trial for treason. Against all other reasons your conscience aches. Go on, it's your birthday. Do what you want. Sing it, Brian. When you're standing on the edge of reason, kicking and screaming, for heaven's sake, don't forget your life's a trial for treason. Against all of the reasons that your conscience aches. Go on, it's your birthday. You do what you want. Go on, it's your birthday. Do what you want.
Has anybody ever told you that it's very damp in here? That doesn't carry over to the internet, but it is very damp in this room. Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Evan Straley on the bass over here. Mr. Brian Green on electric guitar. We are 3/5 of the Swiss Guard. The song's called Sleep Off a Dream. Thanks so much for having us here today.
I've been held grown up the astronauts we'd always be, we'd hoped, giving orders and calling shots instead of taking both. Most of my friends were born in broken homes. They know the rent is month to month on easy streets. Doors and windows, locks and skin and bones, a place to fall asleep. Takes an hour just to wash it off every time I wake. I try the good stuff, but it just makes me cough and make little mistakes. Most of my friends were born in broken homes. They know the rent is month to month on easy streets. Doors and windows, locks and skin and bones, a place to fall asleep. Most of my friends were born unsatisfied, impatient patients to the doctor down the street. Check the locks and let the cat inside and try to get some sleep.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
Thanks so much.
That's Brian, Justin, and Evan, the Swiss Guard.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Dave.